Hello, this is Mr. Snapper. We talk about Chowder's DNA results in this video, and it went a little long, so we split it into two parts. This is part one. Enjoy.
Hello, I'm Mr. Snapper.
And I'm Red Snapper.
And welcome to
Project Nutmeg. Today, we have Chowder.
Oh my goodness.
He's here for a minute. Come on. There we go.
One
there
big
she
happy.
Is. One big happy. She has to block Chowder because it's Project Nutmeg.
Chowder's like, oh, I don't even know what's going on with this little dog.
Yeah, she took all of the toys.
He likes to stand like this. I'll like hold him and he's like, okay, we're good.
He knows that standing equals treats with me.
Yeah.
So when I reach for treats, he just stands automatically on his hind legs. It's kind of funny.
We got Chowder's DNA results and we're excited to share them with you.
We did the DNA testing through Wisdom Panel, same as Coca, Buster, and Nutmeg. This time we paid for the premium version of the test, and one of the added bonuses is that we get 15 minutes of private vet consultation on the condition that the test turned up.
And we will tell you all about that condition. But first, what did you think Chowder was?
He was through Doodle Rock Rescue, so they deal with poodles.
Right.
So I thought he would be poodle, schnauzer, maybe doxy poo or schnauzy doxy poo, because he's got some gray hair when it grows out on the back. And, you know, the tips of the ears, he's very Snoopy-like, even though Snoopy was a beagle.
Right.
He has the soft fur texture that Nutmeg does. It's very soft. It's not coarse. We've had short-haired dogs with coarse hair, and I grew up around German Shepherds that had coarser hair, even though they had a fluffy undercoat. They weren't as soothing to the touch. Nutmeg is, I think, enjoying all of this. Just so soft, just absolute comfort. And he's got some rough in the back, right?
Yeah,
but it's not super rough, and he's so soft.
He's very soft.
I thought poodly.
I thought poodly as well for the same reason. I thought for sure dachshund, because he's a very long dog, and he does have at least his front paws are they're a little stubby, and he's what they call an easty-westy. So his paws splay out, yeah.
Like the first position turned out.
In ballet, yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought dachshund because I have a cousin who has a dachshund. Mm-hmm. Do you want to get down? He wants to get down. Okay. There you go. I have a cousin who has a dachshund, and in some of those pictures, his front paws are a little turned out as well. So I was like, maybe there's some dachshund here. So that's what I thought.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would think maybe some wiener.
Maybe some wiener.
A little bit of wiener. Oh, the one thing that we can all agree on, he's handsome.
He is very handsome. Okay, let's look at his DNA results. Just a disclaimer, we are not sponsored by Wisdom Panel. We're definitely open to sponsorship if you're watching Mr. Panel, but this is not sponsored content. And also, I think the way this is framed, you can't quite see this. So the laptop is just out of frame.
The laptop is just out of frame.
So if you're wondering why we're looking here, that's what's going on.
Something I want to note about this, we have an episode on Nutmeg's DNA, which was swabbed as part of her Banfield puppy package. We have Coca and Buster's DNA results, and they were done much earlier. This will look a little different if you watch the other videos, and we did pay an upcharge because he was a street dog, and we really wanted to know what he was made of and if there were risks. That's a big thing for us.
Health issues, possible things to look forward to as they get older.
Or look out for as they get older.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So here we go.
You want to scroll?
Sure. We need to add some photos, clearly, but we have got this. Look at that handsome guy. I mean, just look at that handsome dog.
He's so handsome.
Okay, so they detected 7 breeds in Chowder's DNA. He is 62% Havanese.
Havanese.
The Havanese, my understanding, is a type of Bichon. It's specific to Cuba.
Yes.
Hence, Havanese.
Havanese.
Havana. 22% Maltese, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's another sort of popular poodle mix is the Maltipoo.
Yes. And the Bichon Frise.
Which makes sense because honestly, that probably rolls into the Havanese.
Yeah,
You know?
I think so. Then this Russian Svetnaya Balanka.
I think Svetnaya Balanka is an ice skater. An Olympic ice skater, I believe.
Yes, we'll get a quick look at the
Russian
Balanka in this. We'll get a quick look so that you can see what that is if you've never heard of it before. But these are basically the same kind of dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. So I had to look it up. It's the Balanka, also in Russia, Svetlana.
Svetlana, see? Right there.
Svetnaya Balanka, also known as the Balanka Zwetna in Germany, or simply as a Balanka, which is what we're going to call it from now on, is a rare toy breed of the Bichon type. So again,
Bichon. And then he has 2% poodle, just the tiniest amount
He's
of
got the
poodle.
poodle.
So they can check that box for doodle rock, since he is a doodle. I mean, he's very barely doodle. And then he's got Yorkie and Chihuahua. She has some Chihuahua in her. I think that's part of what gets the breed so small.
I think that's what it gets. Yeah, it gets the breed small, which makes sense because he has this sort of like the poodle, the toy poodle in there. It makes sense there'd be a little bit of this in here.
Mm-hmm. We've got info on the breeds, which we could go into all of them, but I think we really want to look at the Balanka.
The Balanka
here because you can see the shapes of the dogs.
These are pretty much all the same kind of dog. You know?
With different haircuts, right?
Is the Maltese a Bichon as well?
I think so. I mean, it looks just like the Havanese, right? But slightly different.
Genetically related to Bichon, Bolognese, and Havanese breeds. So
he's basically Bichon.
He's basically Bichon.
And then we've got the Bichon, which looks kind of poodly. Yorkie. He doesn't have furnishings like a Yorkie. And then the Balanka, Poodle, Chihuahua. And they show us a fluffy Chihuahua here.
They do show us a fluffy Chihuahua.
Okay, so we'll look at Balanka. Charming, curious, clever, and spirited, big hearts, great family pets. Companion. Nice lifespan there,
Yeah,
I have to say.
Nice.
I like that.
After this year, we'd like to see a long
We like to see a long potential lifespan here.
Oh, look at that. Balanki, I guess that's the
plural.
The plural.
Balanki. Longer than tall. That's
Well,
true.
There you go.
He's a long
definitely
dog.
Has that going for him.
Double coat. Undercoat is well developed. The outer coat is dense, thick, soft, and forms large curls that fall naturally. We could probably let his hair grow out, but we won't.
We won't. But yeah, he does get wavy. It's kind of like me. When my hair grows out, I get squirrely.
Yeah, a little squirrely. We could let it grow out. He's so low to the ground, and so is Nutmeg. There are doodle owners that will let their larger doodles, they let the hair grow longer, but she's like a Swiffer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're so low to the ground that if we let the fur grow out, it just picks up everything outside and brings it inside.
Yeah, so we keep it neat and trim. Initially, all of them were black.
Interesting.
And it allows all colors except white. That's interesting. I think technically he's fawn.
Yeah, I can see that.
Broad, well-muscled backs. Level loins.
Your loins are on the level.
That sounds like a pickup line. I like your level loins.
Has anyone ever told you your loins are on the level?
They have high set tails that are carried over their backs or off to the side. His tail, I think, has been down very few times.
Very few times.
That he's been with us.
It's usually just curled up. Yeah.
And when he wags, it's very funny. And he doesn't wag very often.
He's starting to wag a little bit more. It's almost because we're still in that old, I think we're still in the 3 months.
Yes, we're still in the 3 months.
He's still adjusting to his new pack, and we're starting to see him wag a bit more, which is kind of delightful.
And mouthing off. Good grief.
He is very, very talkative.
He has a loud bark. He has a very large voice box, though.
Yeah. It's startling because he's smaller than Buster. Buster had a respectable bark.
It was like a little higher,
a little bit higher pitch.
But it was strong.
But his is like very loud. Very loud.
And startling. It's so sharp. You're just minding your own business and he wants something and he's you're like, whoa!
Very loud. Very loud.
Oh,
okay.
Even-tempered, affectionate. Yes, he is affectionate. spirited, and easygoing.
Now, this picture here looks like him.
Yes, this one does look like him.
This looks like his face.
Yeah, that looks like his face.
The eyes are wide set like that. The furnishings look like that. His ears are long. Yeah, that's definitely what's going on.
Yeah.
The breed, better known as Blanqui when plural, was developed by cross-breeding companion dogs such as Bichon, Pekingese, and French Bolognese with Russian street dogs. So he's like 100% street dog. So let's keep trucking.
Let's keep trucking. All right, so we looked at his ancestry, and we can do a quick scroll here.
Yeah, we'll just do a quick scroll. We looked at that.
This. I want to mention this. So his parents, Havanese mix Maltese. Havanese mix Maltese. It seems very intentional. His breeding seems very intentional. So he may have been a dog that got away years ago because he's like 3.5. He may have been a breeder surrender.
I think that is the most likely because he's an easty-westy.
So
his paws are, when he stands, his paws are like
turned
this.
out.
If you look at it, which I did because I was like, is this a medical condition? What's going on?
Right, of course. We're very obsessive at this point.
Yeah, we are. So I looked into it, and it's a thing that can actually happen for Bichons and related breeds. And I believe for the AKC, it's considered a defect.
Like a large spot on a Dalmatian.
Right, patching on a Dalmatian.
Big patches instead of individual spots.
Right, so he may have been, it's possible that he was a breeder surrender, basically. That because he had this easty-westy thing, he's then not the ideal Havanese, whatever, and may have been surrendered. So I think that's likely.
That could be, or he could have been abandoned because of that. A breeder abandonment.
He could have been abandoned
We don't know.
by a bad breeder. That's entirely possible.
We don't know.
Don't know. No idea.
Yeah. The important thing is that he's here with us and spoiled.
Very happy boy.
He's very happy. He loves Nutmeg.
Yeah, it does look deliberate, right?
It does because of what's going into
Havanese, right across the board.
It's not like Coca's, which was like Boston Terrier.
All over the place.
Staffy, and then a whole bunch of herding dogs mixed together. But she was from the streets of Mexico. He seems intentional.
And when you go back to great-great-grandparents, it seems to me like there was a breeder involved.
We can look at his genetic code. You can see what's companion versus terrier. We can look at the individual parents. That's all fine and good. He has average diversity.
That's good. He's not inbred.
He's not inbred.
That's another thing you have to be concerned about with breeder dogs, is particularly, to be clear, there are some really good breeders out there.
Yes.
And don't want to slight them in any way. And I know there's a whole thing about, what do they call it? Adopt, don't shop. And I get that. And obviously we adopted him. He is a rescue dog.
And we have shopped.
And we have shopped. We've done both. I get the argument. I think that if you're going to go through a breeder, if you're going to shop, as it were, it should be a very deliberate choice, and you should find an ethical breeder. Find a breeder who does right by the dogs, if that makes sense. But there are unethical breeders out there, and that's a problem. And it's not fair to the dog. If you're fixed on having a purebred dog or a designer dog, do your homework, do your research, find a breeder who genuinely cares for the animals and makes good decisions, I guess is the way to put it. It doesn't inbreed the dog.
Yes.
So that's an important thing. And it's good to see that he has average diversity in his genetic code. That tells us that he wasn't inbred.
And not at risk for things that are breed specific.
Yeah, like the Habsburg jaw. He's not going to have a Habsburg
He's not going to have a Habsburg jaw.
If you don't know what that is, kids, look it up. It's amazing.
This is exciting. He has a sister, Roxy, 46% of the same DNA. I think I have like 48% similar DNA or 49 with my sister, and we have the same parents.
Right. Yeah, that's how it works.
It could be that Roxy is his
litter mate.
His litter mate, which would age him a bit younger.
Yeah.
Than we thought.
If we click through, you would see that Roxy is 2 years and 11 months old.
And is also in Texas.
And is also in Texas. Don't want to like dox Roxy.
We don't want to dox Roxy.
Don't want to dox Roxy.
No doxy Roxy.
We're not going to doxy Roxy. But somewhere in Texas, and which try to nail that down. Did you know the distance from, I think it was from Texarkana to El Paso is farther than the distance from Texarkana to Chicago?
It's amazing. Driving across Texas.
It's a big state.
Whew. Waltzing across Texas would be exhausting.
Takes even longer.
Yes.
Roxy, not going to doxy Roxy, but that's very exciting to learn that.
Roxy is Chowder's sister. So, determining relationships, let's see what we have for siblings. Exact same ancestors with a different mix of DNA, like me and my sister.
Right.
They may be litter mates. He may be under 3 years of age.
2 years, 11 months.
Yeah, he may be 2 years, 11 months.
So his birthday would be maybe sometime in...
Well, if he's 2 years, 11 months, it would be November.
Oh, yeah. So
he could be a Thanksgiving dog.
Okay, that could be fun.
Yeah.
So we may go with Thanksgiving.
We may go with Thanksgiving.
Although that date changes from year to year.
Oh, that's true. And we would have to update all of his paperwork. We'd have to update things with the insurance company and with Banfield with this information. But we have genetic information that we can potentially point to.
He's a dog, so he doesn't really know. So we could still celebrate his birthday on Thanksgiving.
We could celebrate it on Thanksgiving. We love to celebrate. But as far as tracking things, when to expect birthday reminders.
Oh, true, of course.
All of the reasons it's good to have a birthday besides parties.
Leave it when it is for everything official, but for celebrating, we'll just make it Thanksgiving and give him a turkey neck.
He would love a turkey neck. But he might want to be younger.
Oh, that's true.
He may not want to be classified as 3.5.
Yeah.
This is not a Natalia Grace situation where we're going to kick him out in the world at age 8.
You're clearly 23 years old, you
23. 8-year-old. Yeah. So we may want to back up the clock if this is his breed sister, like his litter sister, litter mate.
Yeah.
But he may be from an earlier litter. We don't know.
Oh, that's also possible.
Yeah. I mean, my sister is younger than I am, but we have X amount of DNA. All right. So health. This is a big thing.